All right, good afternoon. Welcome to the channel here. It's about 12:30 right now. I'm going to kind of keep on talking about socialism and things like that right now. I think socialism is very dangerous. It doesn't work. We have seen it fail time and time again in the world. And I think people are confusing socialism with social programs. They're two very different things. And, these candidates, these extremists, these socialists that are becoming more and more popular, it would seem, especially amongst the younger generation, which the schools have brainwashed and they've been indoctrinated into believing this nonsense. Um, it's very dangerous. These candidates, they have used the American system, they have profiteered from the American system in their endeavors to get power and be in the positions that they are in right now. And they will continue to use that system, our system, to get more and more power. Meanwhile, the entire time they tell you about how they're going to tear it down when they get into complete power. Um, it makes no sense. I have no idea why people are listening to these insane people. Um, there's a lot of Semitism in there. Um, they're very anti-American, and the goal, no matter what they say, the goal is to get into power and dismantle this country. And they say they love America and yada yada. Well, if they love America and this country is so important, why do they want to dismantle it? Why do they want to get rid of the presidency, defund the police, get rid of prisons, all these things? Why do they want to get rid of all of that if they love America so much? These people hate America, and the goal is to destroy this country. That's what I believe. That is the goal. Um, so we shouldn't trust them. You can't trust them. They say all kinds of wild stuff, and then they roll it back when they find out, like, oh, maybe that's a bit too crazy, or that's going to hurt my chances. So they try to roll it back. No, when these people tell you who they are, that is who they are. When they say all this crazy stuff, that is who they are. So getting back to this idea, right? Don't confuse socialism with social programs. Okay. Countries all over the world have social programs, but they're not socialists. America has social programs, but we're not socialists. We have Social Security, Medicaid. We have the temporary assistance for needy families, right? We have the earned tax income credit. We have socialist programs or social programs, but we aren't socialist. Um, and a lot of countries do that. A lot of countries are like that. So you look here. I just kind of did a quick search online here at true true socialist countries. Okay, true socialist countries: China, Cuba, Vietnam, Laos, North Korea. True socialist countries. Now, do those sound like countries that we want America to be like? Do you really want America to be like China or North Korea or Laos? Is that really what we want? Because that is true socialism. Okay, we don't want socialism. We want socialist programs. Don't confuse the two. So, most of the world embraces free market systems and things like this, right? Some capitalist ideas, but some lean heavily into social program aspects of their society, but they're not socialist. So I looked up like the top 10 of the sort of capitalist free market countries. Singapore is a republic. Switzerland is a republic. Ireland is a democracy. Then you have New Zealand and Australia, which are monarchies. Then you have America, which is a republic, and Estonia, which is a republic. Canada is a monarchy. South Korea is a republic, and you have the United Kingdom and Norway. They're monarchies. So, and some of those countries lean more heavily into social programs, and some don't. I think in America, our social program system probably could change. I tend to think that healthcare and education should be something that maybe we look at changing in some fashion. But it's going to take a ton of money, right? It's going to take a lot of stuff. Just saying, just having these candidates come out and say, free healthcare, free education, we're just going to tax the rich people. Offering free healthcare and free education is going to take trillions of dollars to implement those programs. And taxing some corporations and taxing billionaires is not going to cut it. It is not going to generate the amount of money that will be needed for these programs. So they're lying to you. Okay, just they're lying to you, and they're appeasing the mob just to get what they want. Okay, um, you look at Zohar Mamdani in New York. He's a socialist. He's a communist socialist. He can't even make grocery stores work there. How's he going to make anything else work in New York? So all of them, they're just mouthpieces. They just talk. Um, Socialism is very dangerous, and I don't think it should exist here. And I'm older, and if socialism does take a hold, hopefully it doesn't affect me too much. But what I worry about is the future for my kids and the other people that I care about. If we're in a socialist uh, government, um, it's not going to be good for them. You know, and people kind of, I think they have this sort of brainwashed, the world is lollipops, rainbows, and gumdrops and unicorns. When they look at and they hear this stuff, they're like, oh, this sounds like a good idea. Free healthcare, yeah, sounds good. Free education sounds good. Let's be socialist. But I don't think people really understand what it means. Okay, everything that you have, the house that you have, the property that you own, the ability to take all these vacations that you may go on, having your Apple products and your Microsoft products, and having Amazon to shop from, and we have SpaceX and Tesla and all the things that Elon Musk does, and we have all these other businesses that entrepreneurs have created. We have all these restaurants, McDonald's, Taco Bell. We have steakhouses. We have all these restaurants and all these products, and you know in a true socialist society, none of that would exist. So everybody that's saying we need to be socialists, we need to be socialists, but then if you enjoy all those things in your daily life, okay, know this: in a socialist society, you will not have any of that. Okay, that's how a socialist society works. We do not want socialism. Okay, we want maybe some restructuring and retooling of some socialist programs. That would probably be a good idea. But we don't want socialism. Okay, so I think that's kind of, I'll get off my soapbox here, and that's kind of where I'll leave this. Um, but socialism is bad, and these candidates that are out there that are gaining more and more traction and more power, they're the devil in disguise. Okay, they are going to destroy this country, and they're going to destroy your way of life. Whether you believe that or not, that's fine. Okay, but when it comes to socialism, when everything's ran basically by the government, That money, all that money to run all those quote unquote free programs comes from somewhere. Okay. And where does it come from? It's going to come from your pocket. Okay. You think taxes and the cost of living is high right now. Wait until you experience true socialism. Wait until you see what that's like. Wait until you see the realities of how high the cost of living and how high your taxes will be and how much lower your standard of living is going to be in a true socialist society. Remember, um, when it comes to true socialism, do you want to be here in America? Do you want to be like countries that are truly socialist, like China, Cuba, Vietnam, Laos, and North Korea? Is that really what you want? Because that people who keep voting for these socialist candidates, that's where this is going to be going. If you keep voting for these people, that is what future is going to look like for you and for your children. So I'll leave it there. All right. See you in the next one. Bye.